Today's objective is describe how to protect work with copyright and the penalties for violating copyright. So pretty fun lesson, especially if you're a healthy, young, rebellious student. One of the first questions you may ask is, what are the consequences to me breaking these rules my adult overlords have established? Well, in today's lesson, we'll really look into the details of those consequences. We have a few Think Right shares to do today. Please take as many notes as you need. So you need to know what's good for your learning and then do that, not be told to do that, since we're on the topic of being told what to do and what not to do. And for my Think Right shares, these are what I'm asking you to do to prove your learning. And I mean, Think Right sharing, this is all a part of reflective thinking. This is one of the habits of highly successful people. You can Google that if you don't believe me, but reflective thinking is a lifelong skill you want to keep. I'll have 3 video suggestions later on in the lesson. What we've not started is we have not created your own copyright yet. In progress, we're doing a deeper dive into the copyright subject, and what's completed, you should definitely be good on fair use, knowing what that means. So derivative works are copyrighted materials that have been altered or changed. Such materials protected by copyright laws. So Think Right share, should people be allowed to make derivative works as long as they are not making or collecting money for it? So my example would be like Batman, Harry Potter, Lego. You see a lot of derivative works from these 3 subjects. You can use any subject you're interested in. Harry Potter fan fiction is one of the most famous of all, I think, derivative works. So what do you think? As long as you don't make money, is it going to be okay to use these ideas and creations from other people and then share them with the world? If you alter a copyrighted photograph by using a computer software, that photograph is still protected and you may not use it without written permission. So your Think Right share is, should people who create memes be brought to court for copyright infringement? Here's one of the most popular memes out there. This is from a beer company. Can this company take people to court who keep using this guy's image and their product, a picture of their product? Material can be protected even if it does not display the C in a circle symbol. Even if no mention is made regarding copyright, you must assume that all material from another source is protected. So there you go. That's your go-to rule. Just always assume it's going to be protected. And then think about music. You're not looking at something. You're listening to something. So you don't hear the song every time it comes on say it's copyrighted. Intellectual property consists of anything an individual has written or created. It might be music, text, pictures, photographs, sounds, and so on. So remember, this term intellectual property is like the umbrella term that covers all the little things: patents, copyright, and trademarks. Think Right share, how much intellectual property do you have? Do you have anything that should be protected? Have you created anything that should be protected? Penalties for violating copyright laws can range from mild to severe. If you break the copyright, you might simply receive an email message from the author asking you to stop using the material. So that's a nice first step. But then things get a little more serious later on. So if you publish the material on a website, the webmaster might shut down your site. In fact, at the time of this recording, there were quite a bit of protesting going on in a city in Virginia called Charlottesville. And some of those protesters who claim to be white supremacists there, they had a website, and the hosting company of the website, GoDaddy, decided to take their site down. The company did not agree with such views, and so they had the right, as the company delivering a service, to reject a certain kind of customer. You could be sued by the author or prosecuted by federal authorities if you continue to violate copyright. So Think Right share, what are the 3 possible consequences I just outlined? To copyright your own material, the copyright notice for visually perceptible material must contain one or more of the following elements. So the symbol C with the circle in it, or the word copyright, even an abbreviation will work. The year of first publication, the name of the owner of copyright. Example, C in a circle, 2010 Adobe Systems Incorporated. So individuals can copyright things or companies can copyright things. This says phono records. At first I thought it said phone records, and I was like, why would you copyright phone records? Aren't these things used in court to prove or disprove something? So phono records would mean anything that's like a CD, even a cassette tape, just anything that holds music would count. And then it says sound recordings. So these music related or sound related things will use the letter P in a circle. The copyright notice should be affixed in such a way as to give reasonable notice of the claim of copyright. So there's some legalese for you, or lawyer kind of talk. I mean, give reasonable notice that will be hashed out in court if it makes it that far. So how do you go about protecting yourself? You can register your work at www.copyright.gov, registration. So the current fee of $35 for filing a copyright registration online will remain for single authors, single works, and for works that are not a work made for hire. All other works will cost $55 to file online. When you go to that website, you're going to see a list like this. So there's 6 categories for you to file copyrights under. JPEGs, PNGs, and GIFs. As a general rule, you'll want to use a GIF whenever the image is to be animated. Beyond that, JPEG compression tends to create smaller file sizes at the cost of image quality. So since we're talking about pictures now, can you think of something you would want to copyright? Would you complete the forms necessary to copyright your work? Why or why not? So in other words, have you taken pictures or created memes yourself that you would want to copyright, and would it be worth the $35 to make it so? So 3 recommended videos if this is a topic you're really interested in, and if you're just really interested in protecting yourself. So these videos are from a crash course series. You have Introduction to Intellectual Property, Copyright, and Trademarks. Quick video notes, this concept in America, or the concept in general, originated in 1709. The purpose is to promote the progress of science and art. Judge Oliver Wendell Holmes is a big name they bring up. In the second video, you have quantitative substantiality. Okay, is a big fancy lawyer term meaning amount. And then I thought this was cool. The copyright golden rule, you should think to yourself, is take out from others that which you would be okay with yourself. So if you're borrowing something from a copyrighted item, okay, just make sure not to borrow so much as to cause them heartache. So if somebody had borrowed a tiny thing from you, that seems reasonable. But if you ask yourself how much is too much, just think of what you would be okay with. Great reading today if you have the time. If not, I'll summarize it right here. Basically, in Georgia, if you make a copy of the law or publish the law, you could be sued. And apparently, the state of Georgia has won in a lawsuit where someone was making copies, and it's apparently copyrighted. So the law is copyrighted in Georgia. It says Open Records activist Carl Malamud bought a hard copy, and it cost him $1,200 after shipping and taxes. You could buy a copy on CD apparently for $12.59, and the good news for Georgia residents is that they'll only have to pay $385 to buy a printed set from LexisNexis. That's a very famous website, by the way, LexisNexis. That's crazy. I would think that laws are available to the public so they know what they can and cannot do. So the DOL for today: how can you protect yourself from someone profiting on your words, pictures, or videos? And why should a society enforce copyright protection?